Welcome to the Larks pregame show as we're going to have a golfing type announcing situation as this is a lot different from Larks Park, very quiet atmosphere as the Hayes Larks are down here in Augusta, Kansas, just outside of Wichita, part of Wichita actually, as they'll be taking on the Kansas Kansans who are 6-2 right now on the season. And these two teams, a non-league game, so they'll be going at it as the Kansas Cannons, they are a strong ball club and a team not to be messed with, as last year they made it to the NBC tournament, able to place fifth in it, and even won their Jayhawk League last year, which was Larks' former league they were part of before transferring over to the Rocky Mountain Baseball League, as they'll be facing off against each other tonight at a not-so-packed crowd, but hey, it's 20 minutes away, 15 minutes away, so we'll have to see if things get a little bit more jumping, but a different type of atmosphere. No press box camera tonight, just the two cameras for you guys, as right now we're on a 4-foot table, so this will be a really fun game, but hey, I mean, exciting times. Larks baseball on the road, their second away game on the season, and they're looking to get a bounce-back win after last night's game against the Dodge City A's where they fell short. And, I mean, there were some good things, there were some bad things with the Larks. The good stuff was the pitching. The pitching, there were some guys that really stood out, and Blake Lembeck, Logan LaPierre. Those guys really made an appearance in last night's game that was better, was a bright side on the loss in last night's game. The Larks last season only lost 4 games in the month of June, and right now they've only lost 2, and they're on pace to do about the same what they did last year. And last year they went 38-8. So I mean, yeah, you lose a game early on, but it's all part of the process. As we'll get you guys the starting lineups and defensive alignments and starters for tonight's ball game. But before we get into that video, something I want to talk about in Caleb Duncan. He'll be his first game with the Larks, as the team stopped by Spangles on their way up here to get some food before the game, and that's where Caleb Duncan met the team at, as he'll be making his first appearance for the Larks this year on the road, as there was also a lineup change as well. Throw that in there before we head to the batting order video here in the pregame show. But Trent Baker, who was originally supposed to start tonight, he had a blister on his thumb, or on his hand. It was below the thumb area, and that's going to take him out of tonight's game. He's just going to take the night off, as it's a non-league game, so it doesn't really affect conference standings at all. Just affects overall record. So Baker will rest tonight. Caden Ashton will take over his spot in the top of the order. And there's a couple of changes as well, with Will Carpenter moving his way up in the lineup, and then Caleb Duncan coming into the game, and then a couple other guys who've made appearance in the last week or so who will be back in the lineup. So things are about underway, 14 minutes away from first pitch here in Augusta, Kansas, here at Augusta High School baseball field. The Larks leave the nest for the second time this season to head on down to Augusta, Kansas, near Wichita. As here we are, Larks versus the Kansas Cannons. First pitch almost underway as we're shooting for a 7 o'clock start time as the Hayes Larks look to get a bounce-back victory after last night's tough loss to Dodge City A's in their first conference game against the Dodge City A's. The A's were able to get their first victory last night on the season for conference record, while the Larks got their first conference loss on the season. But nonetheless, the Larks, who are still looking strong last night's performance was just one in the book and one to learn from as they look to get a bounce-back victory here in a one-game series. Can't even call it a series. One-game exhibition in a non-league game down here in Augusta. Playing here at the high school field today. We got two cameras for you guys. We got our main game camera. We don't have our celebration camera today, unfortunately, as the way the dugouts were situated, we just couldn't make it work. So we got you a side angle. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. We got balls and strikes up tonight for you guys. Hopefully our live scoreboard can read it quick enough and get it to you guys and get you guys in the action as well. As we are almost underway here at Larks Park. Should be a good one. I mean, Kansas Cannons are looking strong out of the gate this year. And the Larks, who have a really solid lineup all around. This will be a great contest here for an exhibition game as Caden Ashton will step into the lineup today and make his first at-bat at the top of the order. He'll fill in for Trent Baker, who went down with a blister injury right below the thumb. As first pitch of the ballgame, brought to you by Simply Order. As Kansas Cannons pitcher and Holzer, he'll take over on the mound, the right-handed thrower, facing off against the lefty batter in Caden Ashton. This will be put into play in the left field. Running is the left fielder towards the left field line. He'll run over and make the grab for out number 1. First out of the game is recorded as now we head to Will Carpenter, our Gold Glove Player of the Week. He'll be batting 2 tonight. Got the day off yesterday and finds himself in the top of the lineup as he shows bunt, pulls back in time. One away here in the top of the first. Larks batting first. Second pitch up high. Count moves to 2-0 here to Will Carpenter. As small table here tonight, so we do not have our player notes, but we'll go off of what we know because we've gotten to know these guys pretty well over the last few games. 2-0 pitch. Finds his zone for strike number 1 here to Will Carpenter. Kyle Holzer, who's on the mound, the right-handed thrower, plays for Murray State Community College. Played with guys like Wilbert Espinal and Gage Gilchrist, and now we'll find the zone. Count moves to 2 even. So this will be ripped foul down to the right field foul territory. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 away here in the top of the first. As shout out to Trent Baker being a good ball boy today as he's down with the injury, so he'll go run out to right field and ground that one as it went back into play. 2 balls, 2 strike. Will Carpenter try and protect, stay alive. Ohio State native. Grew up in Ohio. His next pitch, good eye. His count moves to full. Full count, nobody on with Holzer pitching here to Will Carpenter. 3-2. This one run inside for ball 4, heading down to first base for the first base run of the game for the Larks and Will Carpenter.
Center fielder, number 12, Caleb Duncan.
And the highly anticipated prospect in Caleb Duncan making his first at-bat as a Lark on the season. Can't wait for this weekend to see if he'll be able to come play at Larks Park, but he'll make his first appearance in the Lark uniform here against Holzer with 1 away with Carpenter at first. First pitch, he swings that, puts it in play, right to the third baseman. On to second, bad throw, unable to make the catch as a second baseman. They'll go into right field. Advancing to third base is Will Carpenter, and staying at first is Caleb Duncan. As able to reach via the E5 on the third baseman for the, not Dodge City A's, the Kansas Cannons and Snyder. still 1 out as we head to the cleanup batter in Wilbert Espinal with a runner in scoring position over at third and Will Carpenter. Pickoff attempt over the first base, not in time. Carpenter watches it as pops out the first baseman's glove. Larks only in their second road game of the season. Their first one was a non-league game as well, but that was against a conference team in Dodge City. Next pitch, misses zone. Count moves to 1-0. As we got front row seats for tonight's contest right behind home plate. Golf course right behind us. 4 baseball fields, a little complex out in right field. Beautiful scoreboard, a beautiful field, to be honest with you. As next pitch up high, on the move is Duncan. The throw down. He'll get past the second baseman and off of the shortstop as he'll go into center field. Will Carpenter will score with ease, and advancing to third base is Caleb Duncan. As the Larks will strike first here in the top of the first and take an early 1-0 lead without even recording a base hit. So Duncan at third now. Espinal with an RBI spot still and 90 feet away at third base as that one finds his zone. Next pitch, Espinal runs up and in. Three balls, 1 strike. Here with 1 away. Righty on lefty. This will be put to the right side. Second baseman will field it cleanly off his chest. Fired first in time, but a run will score via the RBI ground out from Wilbert Espinal as the Larks extend their lead 2-0.
First baseman, number 22, Garrett Gruel.
So way to do a job by Wilbert Espinal, bring home a run as now 2 away here in the top of the first. This one will be slapped into right field, but will go out of play for strike number 1 here to the next batter, and Garrett Gruel. Point streak, the stats we use and such, it's not updated from last night's game against Dodge City. So in the book, it still says Garrett Gruel is his first or second game as a Lark, as he'll hit this one right to the second baseman on a line for out number 3. But the Larks strike first, not even recording a hit, able to get a walk and get a couple guys on, or get a guy on doing an air, and RBI ground out from Wilbert Espinal. As we'll head to the bottom of the first, Larks lead 2-0.
Leading off, shortstop number 1, Zeb Henry.
Bottom of the first, here we go, as Ismael Cordoba will take the mound for his second time, technically his third time, but in stats-wise, his second time, as he'll face off here against the Kansas top of the order. As a shortstop in Henry will come up to bat for the Cannons. Left-handed pitcher out of Arizona Western Community College, grew up in Panama, played a bit in the Wichita area. As first pitch outside for ball number 1, Cordoba, who was ranked the number 2 prospect, or number 2 left-handed prospect in the perfect game system back when he was in high school, when he attended Life Prep Academy. His first 2 pitches missing up and away. Count moves to 2-0. Here at the top of the order hitter, and Henry, the shortstop. This will miss outside. 3-0 count now. Larks able to get 2 runs in the top of the first and take an early 2-0 lead. Thanks to a 1-out walk from Will Carpenter. As that will miss up for ball 4, and heading down to first base is Henry.
16, Hunter Albert.
Bringing up the designated hitter for the Cannons and Alvaro. Hunter Alvaro on the roster sheet says Alvord, but I have here Alvaro. Lefty versus righty once again. This one will find the zone for strike number 1. Henry over at first. A couple of defensive changes for tonight's game as Caden Ashton takes over in left field for Trent Baker. This is also his first start in left field. And then out in center field we got Caleb Duncan. In right field, Wilbert Espinal. Running up the middle with Will Carpenter over at second. And shortstop for the first time is C.J. Reed, as that one just misses the zone. Count moves to 2-1. Run the hot corners with Thomas Lissi over at third. Garrett Gruhl at first. The next pitch we put into play into center field. Running back to center fielder in Duncan. He'll make the grab. Out number 1 here for the Larks here in the bottom of the first. First catch made by the new outfielder and Caleb Duncan. Has 1 away now. Double play possibly still in effect, but the three-hitter for the Cannons will come up to bat. Center fielder in Haworth. First pitch, Cordoba finds the zone for strike number 1. Double play possibility in effect. Carpenter playing near the second base bag, as well as C.J. Reed. Lissi playing away from third a bit as a breaking ball finds the zone, look like a slider, as that will be strike number 2. Ahead in the count 0-2 is Ismael Cordoba. Runner juked him out, but fly ball into center field. Running down for the second out of the inning, and Caleb Duncan for out number 2. A nice couple of plays from the new outfielder. 2 away now at the bottom of the first. Force at second and first with 2 away. Bring up Cooper Combs, right-handed batter, right-handed thrower. Played at Kansas University, grew up in Springdale, Arizona. On the move, and the throw down from Gilchrist. Non-time as swiping second is Henry. Gage Gilchrist, this is his first game behind the dish. He's been the first baseman and designated hitter to start the year off, but he'll be catching for tonight's contest. We've seen a couple guys take over the spot in the catching role, as we got Houston Russell, Brady Evans, the 2 guys who come into the program with the catching experience, and then Will Carpenter and Gage Gilchrist, who will get a chance to catch tonight's game as count moves to 1-1. Next pitch just misses down low. Count moves to 2-1 here against Cooper Combs. Cordoba's last start, able to go 3 innings of work, only allowed 1 earned run. Has an ERA in the year of 3.00. This pitch just missing the zone on the outside part of the plate. Count moves to 3-1. Outfield for the Larks playing a bit back. Left field 310 feet. Right field 310 as well. This one just misses the zone as well. As heading down to first base is Combs. As Force now at first, second, and third. So it brings up the third baseman, Snyder. Snyder's error in the first gave the Larks a chance to bring home a run. Still 2 outs here. Breaking ball just breaks over the knees right before it crossed the plate as count moves to 1-0. Next pitch misses on the outside corner. Counts 2-0. Here for Ismael Cordoba. His freshman season this year over at Arizona Western Community College. Had a few standout performances from the left-hander. 2-0 does find the zone for strike number 1 here to the batter in Snyder. The 2-1 as that one's outside. Count moves 3-1 with the golf course so close to us. We can hear all the raging golfers who are losing their balls right now. Three-one will miss outside, and that will put the bases loaded. Force at any bag now with 2 away still.
First baseman, number 7, Mike Williamson.
Bring up Mike Williamson. As time will be called, Keith Harper will head out to the mound. And we'll take a quick break here on the Larks Network. Back here at Augusta High School baseball field as Cordoba will miss up high for ball number 1 here to the next batter for the Cannons. As trying not to lose our papers with the win, we're sitting outside today as Williamson, the first baseman, who has an RBI opportunity, tying run over at second base. Go ahead run at first. That one will find the zone for strike number 1 of the at-bat to Williamson. This one will find the zone as ahead in the count now for Cordoba and 1-2. Cordoba, we threw 34 pitches in Friday's game against the Denver Cougars. This one will get fouled out of play. That Friday game was postponed and had to be played out Saturday, so Cordoba did not get a chance to go back on the mound as got the next day off, and rightfully so, through 34 pitches through those 2 innings of work. Larks would go on to win that game. Larks swept the Denver Cougars in a series where they really stood out as count moves to full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. All the runners will be on the move as this one will be found out of play as well. Battling it up here is Williamson. Cordoba, who had a whip of 1.35 this season for Arizona Western Community College. This one will be chopped foul once again, battling it up as Williamson, already in his tough spot here as with time run at second base and the go-ahead run at first. Just need an out here by any means to get us sent to the top of the second. No hits have been recorded in this ball game. 2 errors from the Cannons in the top of the first helped the Larks get an early 2-0 lead. And this one will miss outside, ball 4. As the first run of the ball game will be scored for the Kansas Cannons. Bases remain loaded here with 2 outs. That's an RBI walk from Williamson. Sends us to Clemens, the left fielder. Breaking ball just misses the zone here from Cordoba. Fastball, changeup, slider, 2-seam. Don't want to say it too loud, especially with the other team right in front of us as we get front row seats for tonight's contest. His first pitch missed for a ball. Second pitch will find the zone for strike 1 here in the at-bat against Clemens, the left fielder. Chase Clemens, who played at Marshalltown Community College, grew up in Ghana, Ohio. Scout moves to 2-1. Cordoba, who is 4th on the team in appearances for Arizona Western, 1st in games started, 3rd in wins, had a 7-4 record. It's 2 balls, 1 strike. The ball put into play to the third baseman, Lissy will take himself to the bag for out number 3. 1 run does come around to score for the Cannons, but the Larks still lead here 2-1 as we'll head to the top of the second. Four-year veteran and Brady Evans will come up to bat here in the top of the second with nobody on as he'll face off against Holzer for his second inning of work. This one fouled right to the Cannon dugout. Make a nice grab as the coach there who's sitting on the bucket. It's Brady Evans making his first at-bat on the day. Second pitch, missed for a ball. Count moves to 1-1. The Cannons, who have a total of 14 pitchers on their team. They chose Kyle Holzer to take the mound, the Murray State Community College native. 2 pitchers actually pitched for Murray State this season, as this one will find the zone. Count moves to 1-2 to Brady Evans. Brady Evans second on the team in average with a .571. This one fought off and fouled back. Count remains 1-2. The Cannons, who we said had 14 pitchers on the roster compared to the Larks, who have 11 right now. So Larks have been able to give guys like Trent Baker a chance to go on the mound, as this one miss up and high. Counts 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody on for Brady Evans. The 2-2. This one will be put into play. The third baseman running over and goes off the glove. They're going to real fair ball, and Evans will leg it out. As we'll see if they'll rule that a hit or a single. As more than a hit or an error. More than likely, I'd say an error. Tried to backhand it, was the third baseman in Snyder, but just went off of the glove. So that brings us to the catcher, and Gage Gilchrist. So he'll make his first at bat here against Holzer. As first pitch outside for a ball. The Cannons and the Larks will face off down in Hayes America later on this season. That'll be a 3-game series, as only playing one down here. The Larks will only travel 13 times this season. Shortened season. Last year was 8 weeks, and this year will only be 7 weeks. But still, lots of baseball and a lot of action will be underway, as next one misses outside for a ball as well. Counts 3-0. They did rule it an error for Brady Evans, so that will not go down as a base hit. Third error of the ball game. I only have listed 2, but they have 3 on the board right now, as that will miss up high. Ball 4. Now runners at first and second, as the Larks looking to strike again with no outs.
Third baseman, number 15, Thomas Lissy.
Bring up Thomas Lissy, Houston University native, as he's over at the third base side once again. He got a chance to play shortstop in the Denver Cougars series. Time is called. Catcher will talk things over with the pitcher and Holzer. Larks have had 4 base runners on the base path so far here early in the ball game. The third runner to be able to reach it to second out of the 4, as Holzer had to pitch from the stretch once again. This one will be outside for a ball. 5 balls in a row now from Holzer. Two Holzers on the roster, and Jacob and Kyle. This one will run in for ball number 2. Both Holzers are pitchers. One's a lefty, one's a righty. They both pitched at Murray State Community College and both grew up in Denton, Texas. Gotta assume they're brothers of some sort. As we'll have a mound visit here early on, and we'll take a very short break here on the Larks Network. Quick little mound visit from the Cannons pitching coach and Steve Leinhard. As we'll get back into action, as the next pitch will find the zone for strike number 1 here to Thomas Lissy. Temperature right now here in Augusta, 85 degrees. The high today was 89. Tomorrow in Hayes, it's going to be 102. As next pitch to Lissy found out of play. The Larks have a day off tomorrow before they have their 3-game series against the Colorado Rough Riders. That one will be a really big series, and the Rough Riders are off to a 5-0 start. Already won more games than they did last season. They're starting to look like maybe a top team, as they took down the Dodge City A's and Denver Cougars with ease. As next pitch to Lissy will be caught looking strike 3. As that will be the first out here in the top of the second. Evans still at second, Gilchrist still at first with one away. Nine-hole hitter and C.J. Reed, Butler Community College native, as he'll hit this one and foul it out of play. 2.5 hour bus drive for the Larks today. Came down a bit early, were able to stop and get some dinner before they come to tonight's contest, got their batting practice, and are ready to get things going as they already took an early 2-0 lead. Thanks to a couple of errors on the Cannons' part. Breaking ball that gets away from the pitcher in Halser. Count moves to 1-1. C.J. Reed, who's rocking the number 1 this season. As he'll this one right back to the pitcher, and now will get through the hole, up the middle in the center field. Rounding third is Evans being waved home. The throw in. There will be no throw as Brady Evans will score it with ease. An RBI single from C.J. Reed, his first hit in RBI as a Lark, as the Hayes Larks extend their lead by 2.
Left fielder number 8, Caden Ashton.
So similar spot, runners at first and second as we head to the top of the order in Caden Ashton. Second at bat on the day for him. First pitch outside for ball number 1. We got the pitch count on the scoreboard today, giving it a shot now that we've gotten comfortable with the system and everything, and starting to get the tempo now. As no crew today, just me and Caden, as Caden doing our stats for the point streak. While I take care of Nick Helgate in the broad stream, or the live stream, meant broadcast, as first pitch ball to the top of the order hitter and Caden Ashton, who next one down low. Ashton ahead in the count here. Flew out to left to get things going. Ashton, who's been batting 2. This is the first time he'll bat in the leadoff spot this season. Next pitch finds zone. Strike number 1 to Ashton. You really could switch Baker and Ashton around when going against righty and lefty matchups. They both are top of the order hitters that could alternate the spot. And with the righty on the mound, the idea of Caden Ashton leading off is a great idea as they go for that today. And that one's going to be ruled a strike. Ashton will head back to the batter's box, thinking that was ball 4, as now counts 3-2. Correction, 3-1. As battling it up as Caden Ashton, count is full now. Here with 1 away. That RBI single by C.J. Reed was the first hit of tonight's game. First hit for him as a Lark and first RBI, and a great spot for him to come up as the Larks have responded in every inning so far, as next one swung on miss by Ashton for strike 3.
Second baseman number 25, Will Carpenter.
Bring up second baseman and Will Carpenter. Two outs now as this one will run inside on Carpenter, able to get out of the way. Will Carpenter, who is our lucky Gold Glove Player of the Week, batting in the second spot. Was batting in the bottom part of the order, but a couple of good performances moves him to the top. As he'll get a hold of this one and foul it off down the right field line. Will Carpenter batting .364 on the season, 4 base hits. Two of those 4 base hits were doubles. 1 RBI and a couple of walks as well. As it looks like Carpenter broke the bat, so we'll have to go get a new set of wood and come back to the batter's box. 310 out to left and right field corners, 365 to left center and right center gap, and 380 out to dead center. This is a high school baseball field. So if you thought Larks Park was a home run friendly ballpark, this is just even this is just even more of a home run ballpark, as center field only being 380 compared to Larks 405. The corners run in shorter than Larks Park as well, with 319 in left and 322 in right, as this one missed the zone as well. 3-1 as Carpenter ahead in the count. Next pitch, thought it was ball 4, but it'll be strike number 2. Count moves to full with 2 outs. Gilchrist at second and CJ Reed at first. They'll all be on the move. Here were 3 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Larks lead this one by 2, 3-1. Holzer find himself in more trouble here early on. This one will miss down low below the knees. Ball 4, and the bases will be loaded for the Larks.
Center fielder number 12, Caleb Duncan.
A good at-bat from Will Carpenter, bringing up Caleb Duncan. First pitch here finds a zone to Caleb Duncan. So this one play up the middle and finds a hole. Base hit. That'll score 1 run for the Larks. And being waved home is CJ Reed, as he'll score, and the throw from the outfield to third base. They're going to rule him safe as sliding into third base in time. As the Larks put 2 more runs on the board, and they extend their lead 5-1.
Right fielder number 26, Wilbert Espinal.
So now runners are at the corner with 2 away, thanks to the 2 RBI single from Caleb Duncan, his first hit as a Lark and a first couple of RBIs. Played at Golden West College, so he was kind of a hyped guy coming in here, as he was part of that Golden West team that went 34-15 and really dominated this season. His first pitch here to Espinal, ruled a ball. Espinal had an RBI ground out in his last at-bat, has an RBI spot here with 2 outs. You just find the hole, as looks like a changeup possibly finding the zone for strike 1, Espinal. Played at Murray State Community College. He'll be going to Alabama State as a ground ball to the shortstop. Taking himself to the bag for out number 3 is Henry. As the Larks able to put 3 runs here in the top of the second and extend their lead 5-1. Cordoba to the mound here for the bottom of the second as he has a 4-run lead now as the first pitch we put into play in the left center field. Running over is Caleb Duncan, running back and making the running catch near the wall as he'll make the first play for out number 1. Caleb Duncan, his third play out in center field. As welcome to the Larks, he's just getting everything hit at him. He came up big with an RBI single last half inning. And the Larks now have 1 out here in the bottom of the second. First pitch here to the next batter and the 9-hole hitter, and Caruso, the second baseman. This one will be popped up in the right field. Running over is the right fielder in Espinal, but that'll just go foul and out of his reach as count moved to 1-1. And they're going to rule out a fair ball, actually. That looked pretty foul from our angle, but they're going to talk things over as the Cannons are already heated up after the first inning. Umpire's going to talk this one over. I mean, from our angle, it looked like it was clearly foul. And we also have a really better view today as umpires will talk it over and see what they come up with. But if that's ruled a fair ball, that'll be the first base hit of the ballgame for the Cannons. As it will be, that'll be the first base hit of the night for the Cannons. And the 9-hole batter, Caruso, the second baseman, comes up big. Bringing us to the top of the order in Henry, the shortstop. Shortstop and Zeb Henry. Switch hitting batter out of Eastern Oklahoma Community College. Grew up in Bartlesville, Oklahoma. First pitch, half-hard swing. They did not say he went around as count moves to 1-0. Double play possibility in effect for the Larks. Facing against a switch hitting batter. Swung on and missed here as Cordoba throws a nice one over the heart of the plate. Larks last season on the road were 8-4 in the month of June. As a ground ball to third baseman Lissy, he'll look at it. Doesn't have time to go second. He'll fire to first in time for out number 2. Pretty close play, but Lissy, good throw over there. Gets it in time, and Gruel makes a nice stretch as runner advances to second base. And 2 away now here in the bottom of the second. Bringing up Alvaro. Designated hitter for tonight's contest. Flew out to center field in his first at-bat. Takes a good swing at this one. A nasty, that speed, it looks like, I believe, is a changeup. Great pitch set in a great part of the zone. As Cordoba gets ahead in the count here early to this 2-hitter in Alvaro. Another one swung on and missed as 0-2 count now. As Cordoba able to throw a good couple of pitches located in the zone really well. Right at the knees and even below us a bit. It's 0-2 count now. Alvaro having to protect here. He'll fight this one off to right field. That might stay in play. It will, as Espinal will run over and make the catch for out number 3. One runner gets on here in the bottom of the second, but no runs score. We head to the top of third. Larks 5-1. 5, 6, and 7 due up here in the top of the third as the Larks lead this one 5-1. Garrett Gruhl will get things going. As first pitch, he puts up in the air in the left field. The left fielder looking up high in the sky at it, and Clemens and watching to his glove for out number 1 to get us started in the top of the third. Bringing up Brady Evans, the designated hitter for tonight's game. Taking a look at the RMBL standings right now, the Colorado Rough Riders find themselves at 5-0 on the season. Hayes Larks, whose last night's game has not gone through officially, but they are 3-1 right now. Technically 2-1, but once again, that second game of the season, nobody knows what's going on with that one. So we're going to say 3-1, as that's what we got on the standings. This first pitch to Evans down low for ball number 1 here with 1 out. Liberal BJs find themselves 3-1 on the season. A game and a half back of the Rough Riders. The Western Nebraska Pioneers 3-2, their first year in the Rocky Mountain Baseball League. As Evans hits a line drive to the third baseman, but that'll be ruled foul. Scout moves to 1-1 to the designated hitter and Brady Evans. After the Western Nebraska Pioneers, the Game Day Angels, who are 2-4, lost their last game. And then below them are all the defeated teams at the moment. The Dodge CDAs are 0-4. Denver Cougars are 0-3. The Dodge CDAs will be 1-4 once it goes through. And then Denver Cougars, who are 0-3. Fort Collins Fox is 0-2. This is their first year under new management, as we figured out the mystery on the Rocky Mountain Baseball League website on why they said it was their first year back. It was their first year with new management. As Evans ahead in the count 3-1 here against the new pitcher for the Cannons and Jose Grijalva. As that'll be ball 4, head down to first base, Brady Evans. As now we head up to bat, Gage Gilchrist. Shout out to Gage Gilchrist family as they're here in attendance tonight. And they also claim Wilbert Espinal as well. As first pitch to Gilchrist, ruled a ball down low. Gilchrist, who worked out a walk in his last at-bat. Good eye from Gilchrist. Count moves 1-1. Pickoff move, not in time. Clear skies here today. The lights are already starting to turn on here at Augusta High School field. Their mascot for the high school is the Orioles. I believe that's what it says out on the scoreboard. The stadium's called Rodney Wheeler Stadium. Nice little complex out in right field. Kansas, the state of just baseball around. Next pitch right back up the middle. Let's go to the second baseman. He'll flip it on a second for 1 and on to first for the double play. As a runner gets on for the Larks, but a double play will end the top of the third. We'll head to the bottom of the third as the Larks still lead this one 5-1. Ismael Cordoba back to the mound for his third inning of work. First pitch will find the zone for strike number 1. Next pitch with a ball. The Larks, that was the first top of the inning where they were not able to score a run. The Larks this season have been scoring early on the ball games, as the only time they did not score within the first 3 innings was in last night's game. It's 2 balls, 1 strike here. This one, great pitch from Cordoba, swung on a miss, like a slider that just kept coming in. His count moves to 2-2. Slider misses the zone. Count moves to full. Lefty versus lefty here. This one swung on a miss, strike 3. Cordoba's first punch out on the day. Sits down the 3-hitter in Haworth. Bringing up the right fielder in Cooper Combs. Worked out a walk in his last at-bat. First pitch finds the zone for strike number 1 for Cordoba. Cordoba, who coming into the season, he already started to look like the ace just because of what he was able to do over at Arizona Western Community College. But also his track record dating back to high school has a beautiful curveball. Just falls right into the zone. Count moves to 0-2 here with 1 out. He was one of the top guys we're looking forward to seeing on the pitching side, especially after last year, seeing a guy like Tyler Schott just dominate all season. That ball just missing the part of the plate. Just kind of went around the plate and then broke right after it crossed the front of home plate as count moves to 1-2. Lissy playing back over on the third base side. That's a big thing for the Larks right now, is just figuring out who their starting pitchers are going to be right now, as we've been going through a lot of bullpen games lately, as this one ripped as the batter in Combs read the curveball or slider right off the release of the hand of Cordoba. Count moves to 2-2. But and we were talking about this with some of the other guys that I work with for the press box, and the Larks, they have a lot of great arms this year. As that one caught looking strike 3, Cordoba back-to-back punch-outs. That one caught looking against Combs. As now 2 away here in the bottom of the third, and going through the heart of the lineup, Cordoba has been able to get 2 strikeouts. Bring up the third baseman, and Snyder worked out a walk in his last at-bat. His first pitch put in the play in the shallow center field, running in his dunk, and he'll make the running grab, running in from center field to make the catch for out number 3. As the Cannons go down 1-2-3 here in the bottom of the third, we'll head to the top of the fourth. 5-1 Larks. Top of the fourth as Thomas Lissi will come up to bat for his first time against a new pitcher in Jose Grijalva. His first pitch ruled a strike. Jose, who pitched for Emporia State, grew up in Tucson, Arizona. Emporia State, who is a part of the MIAA, and also part of the MIAA is for Hays State, which is where they play at. They play at Larks Park. So Jose got to be familiar with Larks Park. As next pitch here to Lissi, ruled a ball. Count moves to 1-2. But the Cannons will come up to Hays here in a couple of weeks, where they'll face off in a 3-game series. More non-league action. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. This one missed down low. Count moves to 3-2. Here to Lissi. As this one we popped up, might stay in play, and it will actually get out, as that'll be a foul ball. Count remains full here to Thomas Lissi.
As a reminder, tonight's foul ball sponsor is Lewis.
Andy Lewin over at the third base coaching side. Frank Leo, who came back after being gone for a couple games. He came back for yesterday's game, and he's back for tonight's game. However, with Trent Bakerson out, he has taken over the first base job as a ground ball to the second baseman. Fields it off the hop fires at the first in time for out number 1.
Shortstop number 1, C.J. Reed.
Bring up the bat, C.J. Reed, who recorded his first hit and first RBI as a Lark on the season in his last at-bat. C.J. Reed, who's done a really good job at putting the ball in play. If there was a stat for balls hit into play, we would bring that up, because C.J. Reed would be around the 700 mark, because he does a great job at just limiting the strikeouts and putting the ball in play, seeing good pitches. As the count moves to 1-1 here to the shortstop for his first time this season. A breaking ball swung on and missed. Count moves to 1-2. Caden Ashton, the top of the order, on deck. Larks with a 4-run lead. Curveball swung on and missed, strike 3, as that'll be out number 2 here in the top of the 4th.
Left fielder number 8, Caden.
Larks will bat for their 3rd time through the order now, as that brings up Caden Ashton. Ashton was supposed to get the day off, but with Trent Baker taking the night off due to a blister, he'll come into the lineup and fill in the hole over in left field. Larks trying to get a 2-out rally here going. As Ashton slaps this one out of play. Ashton, one of the few guys to wear the high socks over the sliding pants. Next pitch to Ashton, swung on a miss, strike 3. The throw down to make it official in time, as that will be a 1-2-3 for the Larks. But we'll head to the bottom of the 4th to see if Ismael Cordoba can continue his success from the last inning, where he was able to sit down the Cannons 1-2-3 himself. To the bottom of the 4th we go. New pitcher to the ball game as Kevin Goss, fan favorite, back to the mound as he'll come out of the bullpen for his third time this season for the Larks. Facing off against the 6, 7, and 8 hitters for the Cannons as he has a 5-1 lead to work with. First pitch swung on and missed. Getting ahead in the count is Goss as he faces off against Williamson, who worked out an RBI walk in his last at-bat. Next pitch just on the outside corner for ball number 1 in the at-bat. Ismael Cordoba, very similar to his first start for the Larks, as he went 3 innings of work, struck out 2 batters, only allowed the 1 earned run. Half-hearted swing goes foul off the inner part of the bat. Count moves to 1-2. Goss, a Houston Christian University native, played with guys like Trent Baker and Nolan Wilson. Wilson will probably be seeing him pitch here soon, as this one will be a fly ball into center field. Duncan just having a busy day out there in his first day back, as he'll make the grab for the first out for Goss.
Left fielder, number 6, Chase Clemens.
So far, 5 outs coming from Caleb Duncan so far today out in center field. As first pitch finds the zone for strike number 1. On the road here today in Augusta, Kansas, around the Wichita area. Next pitch outside for a ball. Big shout out to our bus driver today who got the Larks down here safely and sound, as he'll have a long drive back tonight. We appreciate everything he does. His next one will be ruled a ball as well. Count moves to 2-1 here with 1 out for Kevin Goss as he faces off against the left fielder in Clemens. Clemens, who grounded out to the third baseman his last at-bat. This will be popped over our heads. Count moves to 2-2. Goss is a left-handed pitcher going against the righty batter. Sophomore season for him. This one will clink off of the back leg, it looked like, of Clemens, and heading down to first base for the hit by pitch is the left fielder. Brady Evans, our ball boy today as well, with Trent Baker. Bringing up the 8-hole batter and the catcher in Ray. First pitch finds the zone. Goss getting ahead in the count pretty early on in his first 3 batters faced. The 0-1. This one swung on and missed. Goss ahead 0-2. Clemens over at first. Double play possibility is in effect. Carpenter at second and Reed at short tonight, as this one's outside for a ball. Count moves to 1-2. The 1-2 runs in. Count moves to 2 even. Goss listed at 6'2", 200 pounds on the Houston Christian website. Grew up in Rockwell, Texas. Attended Ray High School. And strike 3 looking. Down goes Ray, and first punch out on the day for Kevin Goss.
Second baseman, number 14, Christian Caruso.
Kevin Goss, who did not allow an earned run in his first 3 appearances on the mound for Houston Christian over 4 innings of work. Pick-off move back in time at first is Clemens. Make sure to tune into the Larks game on Friday. They'll be back at home to face off against the Rough Riders. This one will be popped up high. This one has a chance to stay in play. It will. Running over is the first baseman. Gruler tails away from him, bounces away. Or correction, the ball is just taken away from him due to the wind that's coming out of right field, blowing across the outfield towards left field. That one just, the wind just got a hold of it. It was that high in the air. So the at-bat will continue. On the move, heading to second base, but it's a hit and run play as this will be hit up the middle. It'll get down for a base hit. Advancing to third base is Clemens, has no throw to third, and runners are now on the corner here with 2 outs.
Shortstop number 1, Zeb Henry.
Only the second base hit of the ball game for the Cannons. Their first came in the bottom of the second. As we'll head back to the top of the order. Top of the order today, it's only worked out a walk through batters 1 through 3. Showing bunt, does not pull back, pops out of the glove of Gilchrist, and advancing to second base is Caruso. So now 2 runners in scoring position. Larks still have a 4-run lead. This one fall off the end of the bat and will go foul. Count moves to 1 even. Zeb Henry worked out a walk in his first at-bat of the day, which got things going for the Cannons. Able to push 1 run across in the bottom of the first. Then grounded into a fielder's choice to the third baseman, Thomas Lissy, to end the second, where Lissy took it to the bag himself. The 2-1 here to Goss popped up and out of play over our heads. Count moves to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here at the top of the order, hitter and Zeb Henry. Larks defense is trying to get out as they're playing back in the infield. This one will get a wild pitch that goes to the backstop. This will score 1 run. Rounding third and heading towards home is the next runner. The throw in as the throw gets away from Goss, and 2 runs come around to score as the Cannons are now just trailing by 2. So nobody on base now. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Henry. 2 runs do come around to score. It is now 5-3, but Larks still lead this one. This one will miss up high. And that will actually be ball 4. So Henry works out his second walk on the day, bringing us to Alvaro. He's gone out in his last 2 at-bats. First pitch here from Goss, just below the knees for ball number 1. No other conference games were played yesterday. The only one was the Larks and the Dodge City A's. As this one will get to the backstop as well, and advancing to second base is Henry. He'll round second, but he'll put on the brakes as Henry will advance on the wild pitch. As now Henry 2 bags away from scoring. 2-0 count. This will be found out of play for the first strike here to Alvaro. Taking a big lead over at second base is Henry, as this will be hit in the left field. That'll be a base hit. Rounding third and heading home is Henry. The throw in from the left field. A good throw from Ashton in time to gun out the runner for out number 3, which will end the bottom of the 4th, as the Larks do allow 2 runs, but a great defensive throw from Ashton. And things are getting a little bit heated here. But nonetheless, 2 runs come around the score for the Cannons. The Larks still lead this one 5-3. Will Carpenter get things going here in the top of the fifth. So Larks still lead this one 5-3. First pitch will find his own for strike number one. Will Carpenter, who's gotten walks and back-to-back at-bats, came around to score in his first. Next pitch swung on and missed. Count moves to 0-2. Still a bit of wind here today, blowing across the outfield. Next pitch to Carpenter. Ball just fell below the zone. Count moves to 1-2. The left-handed batter, Will Carpenter. And their breaking ball fought off. A good job fighting that one away by Will Carpenter as he'll get out of the play. Count moves to 1-2. Two, 3, and 4 due up for the Larks here in the top of the fifth with Carpenter to lead us off. As he's going to have a good at-bat here, battling it up. A quality at-bat for Will Carpenter. As count remains 1-2. Jose Grijalva back into the game for the Cannons on the mound. The right-handed thrower as he pitches from the full, and once again, and what a grab by Caleb Duncan. Wow. The on-deck circle just on point today. As count is 1-2. One-two breaking ball that was just left up high in the zone. Two balls, two strikes here to Will Carpenter. What a great at-bat from Will Carpenter as he is just battling it up right now. As Carpenter gets a hold of this one, but that will go foul as well. What an at-bat from Carpenter. I believe we're around 7-8 pitches right now in this at-bat alone. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes. And that one will be caught looking strike 3 for Will Carpenter. As the first out of the inning is recorded for the Cannons.
Number 12, Caleb Duncan.
Bring up Caleb Duncan, who's reached base in both of his at-bats. First time was by air. He came around to score. And he had a 2 RBI single, which helped put 2 runs across the board in the second inning. 3 runs came around to score in that top of the second for the Larks. Next pitch down low. Count moves to 1-. That one will find the zone. Count moves to 1-2 as Caleb Duncan looks to protect here. So that one will be put into play. Off the glove of the shortstop and will get into left field as a base hit from Caleb Duncan gets things going here with one out for the Larks. What a debut from Caleb Duncan, as that is his second base hit and third time he's reached base today. So it brings up the cleanup batter and Wilbert Espinal. RBI ground out in the first. Put the ball in play in his second at bat. This one run in on him. And that one finds a zone. Count moves to 1-1 here to Wilbert Espinal. The sun right now is directly at the right fielder, first baseman, second baseman, as they're trying to fire off the sun. And you see the right fielder who's putting his glove up, trying to block out the sun, even with sunglasses on, making it difficult on the right side of the field. 1-1 Espinal gets hold of this one, sends it out to right field. Taking a couple steps back is the right fielder who make the catch for out number 2. As staying at first base was Duncan.
First baseman, number 22, Garrett Gruhl.
As that brings up Garrett Gruhl. First pitch to Gruhl, he'll take a hack at it, but will go foul. Garrett Gruhl, the first baseman slash outfielder for the Larks, played at Texas A&M Corpus Christi this year. His junior season, only 4 juniors on the roster, one junior being a redshirted junior, as this one runs away, but able to pick it up in time and not allow Duncan to advance on the throw is the catcher and Ray. This count moves to 1-1. Here to the power hitting threat in Garrett Gruhl. Next pitch up for a ball to throw down to Duncan. Not in time, as Duncan will swipe his first bag as a Lark. And will put a Lark in scoring position. The second-year Lark in Garrett Gruhl, who really made a name for himself last year. This one will miss way outside the zone, goes off the glove. The catcher of Ray will get to the backstop, advancing to third. Advancing to third base is Duncan. Now, I was just thinking about it. If Duncan would have ran home on that, probably wouldn't have said anything, as the catcher was right in front of me. Was trying to keep it on the low, so that way Lark could possibly score. Probably not paying too much attention to that. But anyway, 3 balls, 1 strike. This one fouled off. Count moves to full here with 2 away. Garrett Gruhl has put the ball in play in his last 2 at-bats. Still rocking the yellow batting gloves. The full count pitch here with 2 outs. A hard hit ball. I'll go foul once again into the Cannon dugout. Gruhl has 2 RBIs on the season, 1 home run. As he'll get under this one, thrown out to left field, shallow left field. As running over as a shortstop, he'll call up third baseman, left fielder, and make the running catch. Running away from the infield, making a nice grab for out number 3. As the Larks unable to get a run around a score, but we head to the bottom of the 5th, where the Larks still lead by 2. New pitcher on the mound here in the bottom of the fifth as Nolan Wilson will come into the ball game in relief for Kevin Goss and Ismael Cordoba. Back-to-back Houston Christian pitchers coming in tonight's game as this one will find the zone. First pitch strike for Nolan Wilson as he comes out of the bullpen. Next pitch just below the knees. Count moves to 1-1. This one will be fouled off. Wilson ahead in the count 1-2. Nolan Wilson, who is second in the league right now in innings pitched with 6. Started 1. This is his third appearance out of the pen. Two balls and 2 strikes here to the 3-hole hitter in Haworth. So that will hit to the backstop. Count moves to full here with no outs. Brady Evans, our ball boy tonight, hustling over, trying to get out of the way for the pitch is thrown as the 3-2 pitch. It'll be a hard hit line drive right off the diving glove, the second baseman and Carpenter. As a leadoff base hit for the Cannons allows a tying run to come up to bat.
Right fielder number 25, Cooper Combs.
The first leadoff hit of the game for the Cannons. So brings up Combs with a pretty 2000s type walk-up song. His first pitch, a hard hit ground ball to the left side, diving effort from the shortstop in C.J. Reed. A good job to get there and make the stop, but not enough time to make a play as back-to-back base hits for the Larks, or for the Cannons, as that puts a runner at first and second with no outs still. Bring up the third baseman in Snyder. A walk and a fly out to center field is what he's done in his first 2 at-bats today. First pitch, top of the zone. Count moves to 1-0 to get things going. As we said, Nolan Wilson, who pitched at Houston Christian University this year, sophomore season, grew up in Hockley, Texas. Texas, Oklahoma, Arizona. So far, the main locations where a lot of these Larks players are coming from. Only 1 Colorado native, 1 Iowa native. Only 2 players are from overseas this season, one being Australian, Felix Brunner, and the other being Luke Terbeek from the Netherlands. We're going to talk with Luke Terbeek sometime this week, as with him coming back for his 4th year with the Larks and coming back after not pitching this season at the college level and still coming out his first appearance and making a statement, going 2 innings of work, not allowing an earned run. This count moves to 2 balls, 2 strikes. Double play possibility in a The 2-2 ground ball hit in play. The shortstop and C.J. Reed. He'll field it, fire to second in time for 1 out. Advancing to third base is Haworth as now runners are on the corner here with 1 away.
First baseman, number 7, Mike Williamson.
So that now brings up the first baseman in Williamson, an RBI walk in his last appearance, or correction, his first appearance. His last appearance, he flew out to center field. Tying run over at first. This will find a hole through the right side. 1 run will score as a tying run will advance to second base for the Cannons. And now we just have a 1-run ball game.
Left fielder, number 6, Chase Clemens.
Second RBI on the day for Williamson. Scored 2 of the 4 runs for the Cannons, as now they're knocking on the door of possibly coming back into this game. This one hits off the bat twice and will go foul. Fouled it off, hit off the turf, popped back up, and fouled off the bat once again on the backswing. This guy moves to 1 ball, 1 strike. The field here at Augusta, or Rodney Wheeler Stadium, turf infield. Really nice ballpark. Enter the ballpark, got nice concession stands, bathrooms, and everything. Couple of bleachers to the left and right of me, as there's a little press box to my left at the moment. Do not have our press box cam tonight, otherwise I'll give you a tour of the ballpark. It's games like this that really make you appreciate Larks Park, as this one swung on a miss by the batter and Clemens for out number 2. First punch out for Wilson. So now it brings up the catcher and Ray. Like I was saying, I mean, it makes you really appreciate Larks Park, the atmosphere, the beautiful seating and such, as a nice ballpark here, but Larks Park is just it's so flawless when it comes to Midwestern baseball. As a throw down from second, a nice throw from Gilchrist, and a good idea, but not in time, as getting back to second safely. First pitch was a strike. Force at first, second, and third. Here are 2 outs. This will be a ground ball through the hole to the right side, as being held up at third base as the Cannon base runner. Now the bases are juiced. Here are 2 outs. Tying run just 90 feet away from scoring.
Second baseman, number 14, Christian Caruso.
Bring up the 9-hole batter and Christian Caruso. He's gotten singles and back-to-back at-bats. The 9-hole hitter for the Cannons has been doing a job today. Starting to get a bit darker now here at Rodney Wheeler Stadium. First pitch put into play. The third baseman, Lissy, it goes off of the glove. He'll pick it up and fire to first, and that one looks like he got in time. He did. Able to bounce back after the ball goes off the glove and fired over with a good throw and good arm strength from the third baseman and Thomas Lissy, as that will stop the Cannon rally and leave the bases loaded. To the top of the 6th we go. The Cannons only trail by 1 now, 5-4 Larks. The wind beginning to die down here a bit here in Augusta, Kansas, as the United States flag out in left center field is being taken down as first pitch. Roll the ball, will roll all the way to us here behind the deck. As Houston Russell, who's now on the on-deck circle. Houston, whose phone is charging next to me, did not know he was going to make an appearance today. Now I have to worry about getting that back to him at the end of the game. It's 2 balls, no strikes. This one missed down low. Count moves to 3-0. Houston Russell, the pinch hitter, on deck. A 3-0. This will miss out of the zone. Ball for Brady Evans, working his second walk of the day. Evans, who finds himself second right now in all of the Rocky Mountain Baseball League in batting average with a .571. But a walk does not help out the batting average, unfortunately. It doesn't even go down as an at-bat. But the Larks have the base runner on here early now in the top of the 6th, as the pinch hitter in Houston Russell will come up to bat. First pitch, he'll take a swing at it to the third baseman. It takes a high bounce off the turf, firing to first in time. The only play he can make, really, with how high that bounce was, as advancing to second is Brady Evans, and Russell being thrown out at first.
Third base on number 15, Thomas Lissy.
So Houston Russell does a job out of the or off the bench as first pitch here to Thomas Lissy, ruled strike number 1 of the at bat. Our celebration camera right now, I think, have an awkward spot as this will be popped up. This will get out of the infield into foul territory, right where the first base coach would be, and making the catch is the first baseman and Williamson for out number 2. Evans still at second. C.J. Reed up to bat. A 9-hole batter had an RBI single in his first at bat today. Slap to the left side. That one's going to get down. Rounding third and heading home is Brady Evans. The helmet flies off. A good throw, but away from the home plate. That throw was, as scoring with ease, was Brady Evans. An RBI single for C.J. Reed as he's starting to get hot. And another run comes around to score for the Larks as they extend their lead by 2, 6-4 now. Their first run scored since this top of the 2nd. As we'll head back to the top of the order in Caden Ashton. As he'll take a swing at first pitch, a hard hit ball into center field. Catcher in the way, but over the head of the center fielder. That'll get all the way to the wall. One run will score, and C.J. Reed rounding second and heading towards third is Ashton being waved home, but the stoplights come on from the third base coach and Andy Luton as a RBI triple coming from the top of the order hitter, and Caden Ashton puts another run on the board for the Larks. How things can change so quickly as an RBI single from C.J. Reed with 2 outs, and then an RBI triple from Caden Ashton at the top of the order continues this top of the 6th. This could be the end of the day for Jose Grijalva. As no mound visit will be made. As we'll head back in action with Will Carpenter up to bat. 2 walks on the day for the 2-hole hitter. First pitch to Carpenter taken for strike number 1 of the at-bat. Carpenter takes a hack at this one. He worked a long at-bat in his most previous at-bat. It's around 8 to 9 pitches. Finds himself an 0-2 count here. Pitching from the pole is Grijalva as Carpenter will send this one out to left field. Running back is the left fielder. This one has a chance with the short fence and the short distance out there, but making the catch is the left fielder for the Canyons for out number 3. The Larks able to put 2 runs here on the board in the top of the 6th. To the bottom 6 we go as the Larks extend their lead by 3. Bottom of the 6th we go as I believe the, let's see if this guy can turn around for me. Let's make sure at the right spot of the order as we're unsure. So let's just go with the flow. So first pitch outside for ball number 1 as Wilson back on the mound for never any work. A line drive right to the second baseman and Will Carpenter, the Gold Glove player of the week from last week's contest, as that'll be out number 1. Starting a bit darker out here at Augusta Orioles Field. First pitch ruled a ball here with 1 out to the next batter for the Cannons. We're out of order on the stat sheet, so let's just go with the flow and watch Nolan Wilson try to work through another inning of work as this will run inside ball number 2. 2-0 count now. As this is Hunter Alvaro, as he'll fly this one to center field. Tracking back on it is Duncan for his 6th time today. He'll make the grab for out number 2. Bring us the 3-holder and Hallworth, the center fielder, base hit in his last at bat. 1 for 3 on the day. First pitch swinging. Both sides have been swinging first pitch pretty much all game. As ahead in the count now is Wilson 0-1. No third base coach at the moment for the Cannons. He's up against the fence. There is a couple arms warming up in the bullpen, it looks like, for the Cannons. So that could have been the last inning of work for Jose Grijalva. 1 ball, 1 strike. This one just missing the zone. Count moves to 2-1. Two-one pitch down low. 3 balls, 1 strike. If you're just tuning in here on the Larks Network, the Larks lead this one 7-4 in a non-league game against the Kansas Cannons. As a hard hit ball to center field, tailing in a bit as Duncan makes a nice catch for out number 3. 7 times now Duncan has done the job out in center field. What a way to make a debut for the Larks. As we'll head to the top of the 7th, almost to that 7th inning stretch, as the Larks lead by 3, 7-4.
fielder, number 12.
As there's our upcoming schedule and series with the Colorado Rough Riders, as they're 5-0 and the Larks 3-1, as they will be facing off Friday, Saturday, Sunday, first pitch at 7 o'clock. Be sure to tune into that game or come down to the ballpark, as the Larks will have a tough one indeed, with them being the top of the conference leader. Rough Riders have also not played the best teams yet, too, so kind of like the Phillies and the MLB level, it's like, well, let's see what happens when you face off against a team like the Larks. So it'll be a good test for both teams, as next pitch finds a zone for strike number 1 here to Caleb Duncan. Next pitch also finds the zone. Count moves to 1-2. Duncan in his first day with the Larks. 2 for 2 day. Couple of singles, reach on an air. 2 RBIs, a stolen base, a nice ground ball to the first baseman. It was a hard hit one, but right to the first baseman, able to make the play for out number 1. First time they've been able to keep Duncan off the base path. As now we head to Wilbert Espinal. An RBI on the day for Wilbert Espinal. Has put the ball in play in every at-bat so far. Grew up in Edmond, Oklahoma. As we were talking about earlier, lots of Oklahoma and Texas natives on the team. Only one Nebraska guy on the team this year. That being Logan LaPierre, growing up in Omaha, Nebraska. Omaha is where the College World Series takes place. This counts 0-2 here to the cleanup batter and Wilbert Espinal. This one swung on and missed, as that'll be out number 2.
First baseman, number 22, Garrett Gruhl.
New pitcher for the Cannons in Iverson. He's coming out of the pen throwing some pretty good gas. And Drew Iverson, who pitched at Wichita State University this year, they got a good portion of guys that played at the D1 level. A lot of Kansas University, Wichita State guys. They even have some Murray State guys of their own on the ball club. As first pitch here to Garrett Gruhl, taken for strike. This one we fouled down the line and off the dugout fence of the Cannons. Count moves to 0-2. Iverson able to locate his fastball and throw it in the zone here early in the count. Facing against the first 3 batters of the game for Iverson coming out of the bullpen, as he has himself another 0-2 count against the Larks. The 0-2, this one run in. Count moves to 1-2. Great eye by Garrett Gruhl. And as I said, the wind was dying down a bit. It's picked up actually a little bit as our papers are starting to fly. As a ground ball to the left side, a little feet first slide from the shortstop. The throw over, not in time as Garrett Gruhl leg out a 2-out single to extend the top of the 7th.
DH number 7, Brady Evans.
Bringing up our awesome ball boy today, and Brady Evans, who's been able to get all the balls that have hit the backstop so far. Then being the designated hitter, he's got a walk in his last 2 at-bats and reached on base via the air back in the 2nd, which got things going for the Larks, where he came around to score. As Evans launches this one into left field near the 365 sign. Running back is left fielder at the track near the wall, and making the running grab is the left fielder and Clemens for out number 3. Evans gave it a ride, but he'll stay in the ballpark as we'll head to the bottom of the 7th inning stretch. Get up on your feet, Larks fans, as it is finally that time. Larks look to the right-handed pitcher in Aiden Schmigel as he'll come out of the bullpen. The fourth Larks pitcher of tonight's game as he'll take over here in the bottom of the seventh as a ground ball to the third baseman. Lissy unable to get there in time, but able to get there is the shortstop in C.J. Reed, but able to leg it out for a leadoff single is the Cannons four batter in Combs. Cannons will reach base for the first batter. Friendly reminder today here at the ballpark, very not a big crowd. We're right behind home plate, directly behind home plate. And right now, our voice, when we're talking, a lot of people can hear it. So this is a very different game than Larks Park, where we get the press box and we can get energetic stuff. But right now, we're trying to keep it mellow, especially with the batters right in front of us and the pitcher who can see us as we are right in his angle to the right of the catcher in Houston Russell. His first pitch will find the zone for strike number one. But nonetheless, you guys got some baseball to watch here on the Larks Network as my paper goes flying with the wind picking up. This pitch runs inside. Schmigel gets to a knee. Looks like he just might have slipped off the mound there. Count moves to 1-1 with a runner on first base and Combs. Snyder up to bat, a walk, a fly out, and a fielder's choice in his last at-bat. On the move is Combs. Russell no throw down and advancing to second base and swiping a bag is Combs. It's 2 balls, 1 strike here with no outs. This one fouled off by Snyder. Count moves to 2-2. Larks lead by 3. A win here today would be a really good bounce-back victory before heading into that Rough Rider series. Well, they'll need all the momentum, especially with how high the Rough Riders are riding right now, no pun intended, with the way they've been playing as of recently after just demolishing the Cougars and the A's. As a ground ball to Reed, fields out top, fires to first. Good throw, and in time, the umpire says for out number 1, and we might have an ejection here soon as things are getting pretty heated up here at Rodney Wheeler Stadium. As Snyder threw his hands up, took off the helmet, and was like, "Are you kidding me?" Third base coach is going to come down and talk it over with the umpire.
Well, I guess that brings up first baseman number 7, Mike Williamson.
As our PA announcer says, well, I guess that brings up Mike Williamson as 1 away now. This is a different, man, this is just so different than Larks Park, I'll tell you that. We're seeing some new things here. Ground ball hit back to Schmigel. He won't have time to go home. He'll flip it to first in time for out number 2. As we get our live scoreboard caught back up for you guys. A run does come around to score there for the Kansas Cannons.
Left fielder number 6, Chase Clemens.
2-run ball game now. Nobody on base with 2 outs. So that brings up the left fielder and Clemens. First pitch strike here to Clemens, who's got hit by a pitch in his second at-bat. Struck out his most recent. Grounded out in his first. The 1-1, a little slider look like that pops up. This one might stay in play, it will not. It will get out of play and go off of the bleachers. As there's a souvenir for the Gilchrist family as they can take that home with them. They can hide it. As now 1 ball and 2 strikes. And they give the ball back. So didn't want a souvenir. So head back to the count now. 1-2 pitch here from Schmidgel. Found right back. Right, right back to the Gilchrist family. As man, what a day it is today here in Augusta, Kansas. As I mean, different style, different play, and we're seeing two teams that are starting to get heated up a bit after controversial call here in this half inning, and then there was a couple of other calls earlier on in the game that they were not happy about. As count moves to 1-2, swung on a miss, strike three. As going down, swinging is Clemens for a second time today. First punch out for Schmigall. As we'll head to the bottom, or correction, to the top of the eighth. The Larks lead by two, 7-5. 6 outs away. Well, 12 if we're counting both sides. As the Larks look to get some more insurance runs before heading to the bottom of the ninth. As we're here in the top of the eighth, only have two more innings for them to try to get some more insurance runs as they have a 2-run lead, 7-5, here on the road, facing off against the Kansas Cannons in a non-league game. First pitch here to Houston Russell will be ball number one. Russell came in a pinch hit. And his first at bat grounded to a fielder's choice. As there's our live cam as it comes back to us as 1-0 count now here against Houston Russell. Oklahoma University native as this one misses down low. Count moves 2-0. The game day Angels facing off against the Fort Collins Foxes right now. Down in Fort Collins as this one finds a zone for the first strike to Russell. Russell gets a hold of this one, throws it out to center field. Running back is a center fielder near the track at the wall and running. Does he make the catch? And he does. What a leaping grab from the center fielder in Haworth. That one was over his head. He was able to jump up and make a catch. What a play by the center fielder to get the first out here in the top of the eighth as they play the Sports Center Top 10 theme song. So that brings up Thomas Lissy. New pitcher into the ballgame for the Cannons as this will be popped up and get out of play.
Once again, want to remind everybody, tonight's foul ball sponsor is Lewis Street Glass. Returning all balls to the concession stand gets you a $50 coin.
Just heard from the PA announcer that the foul balls you can get a $50 coin.
I won't say it again. You all know what to do.
Another foul ball. He, as our PA announcer, having a bit of fun up there. As this one swung on a miss from Lissy. As 2 away now here in the top of the 8th, as we'll head to the 9-hole batter and C.J. Reed. Reed, who's had himself a really good day. The Larks can pull
Shortstop
away with
number
a
1,
victory
CJ
and
Reed.
hold this 2-run lead. C.J. Reed and Caleb Duncan have been the 2-star performances in tonight's game. First pitch to Reed finds his zone for strike 1. First pair of RBIs on this young season, as still just getting over the first week of baseball here in the summer collegiate season, as Reed will foul this one back out, moves to 1 and 2. Some of these guys had about a month off of baseball. Some guys had 2 weeks off baseball. Some had no weeks off of baseball, as postseason and other tournaments, conference tournaments, have been playing on through the month of May. So when the Lark season began, some of them were really rested, some of them were too well rested, and others were not rested at all. As that's why our first couple games of the season were more of just spring training games, get the players all know each other, get a little bit of a chemistry going, figure out what the team's going to look like and such. As 2-2 count, we're 2 away here to C.J. Reed. As this one swung on and missed, strike 3. As the Larks go 1-2-3. Larks go 1-2-3. We head to the bottom of the 8th. As we'll see if the Larks will keep Aiden Schmigall in and see if they can get 3 outs and send this to the 9th inning. Just going to go back to the mound here in the bottom of the 8th as the Larks lead 7-5. 6 base hits from the Larks today compared to the Canyons' 8. 3 errors by the Canyons really affected them early on in this one, as the Larks took advantage of it and were able to score 5 runs within the first 2 innings. Also put 2 runs on the board in the 6th as a hanger gets fouled off near the right side. Made a good run at it was first baseman and Will Carpenter, as we must have had a defensive change that I did not catch. Or correction, that is actually Garrett. I believe it's still Garrett Gruhl, unless... Well, we might have had a lineup change and we didn't even realize it from here. Either way, 1-2 count. Bit different at Larks Park. We had everyone up in press box that gets everything, and we get it all sorted out here. We're on our own. We're trying to get you guys the best content baseball we can, as this one will be outside for ball number 2. Count moves to 2-2. The 2-2 pitch, a broken bat that goes near me. I don't know why I flinched. There's a fence from me, but in time to first base for out number 1. That bat broke in half. I'm looking at it right now. I don't have our cam link with me. Otherwise, we'd zoom in on that. Broke on the inner part of the bat. Wow. That was impressive how the bat broke and he was able to finish his backswing and it came back in our direction. But out number 1 is recorded. So brings us to the second baseman and Caruso. First pitch he puts in the play. A little chopper to the shortstop. Firing to first in time. What a good throw from the shortstop. And Tabor Stokes, who came into the ball game, has 2 away now. Here in the bottom of the 8th. Cannons only have 4 more outs on the batting side to work with. Schmidgles came out of the bullpen looking strong. His last appearance, he came out of the bullpen and looked really good. He even got a post-game player interview by us where he did not, correction, he only faced a minimum of 3 batters per inning. Almost like a perfect game, but there was an inning where he walked a batter and then they ground to a double play as first pitch strike here to the top of the order batter in Henry. These last 2 outings for Schmigel have just been looking better and better as he's starting to get really grooving here with the Larks as he's ahead in the count here 0-2. The 0-2 from Schmidgel. As this one will clip, the foot of Henry heading down to first for a hit by pitch as the Cannons will continue the bottom of the 8th, which brings up the tying run up to bat in Alvaro. One swing of the bat can change things as time is called to let Henry walk it off after getting that pitch hit on his foot. Lefty batter hit this front right foot. Frustrating walk when you're ahead in the count, or frustrating hit by pitch when you're ahead 0-2. They'll have to work with a runner on base who started pitching from the stretch to begin with, as next pitch here will find the zone for strike 1. Schmigel getting ahead in the count early. A lot of first pitch strikes coming out of the pen. On the move, the throw down from Houston Russell. Good throw. If he gets it there in time, he's out. And he is. What a throw by Houston Russell to get the 3rd out of the bottom of the 8th. As the Larks allow a hit by pitch with 2 outs, but leads to nothing thanks to a great caught stealing throw from Houston Russell behind the dish. As we'll head to the top of the 9th as the Larks lead by 2. Gavin Willett back to the mound for the Cannons as the top of the 9th is underway. As the road trip game is almost over with, 6 outs away. As Caden Ashton, the top of the order here, will get things going. An RBI triple in his last at-bat. Was able to score. C.J. Reed, and he's going to get a base hit here to right field as the top of the ninth gets going for the Larks. As Ashton, who puts the brakes on, to head back to first. As a leadoff knock gets the Larks going. Got to give it to Caden Ashton, who was originally not in the starting lineup today, and then a last-minute decision with Trent Baker's blister on his below his thumb. They asked him to come to the top of the order and play left field, and he's done a great job filling in the role today. As first pitch here to Will Carpenter will be fouled back. The Larks will be at home for a bit after this one. The next time they hit the road is towards the end of June, where they'll have 10 days on the road, 7 games. That's the only time this season for the Larks where the road trip or the away games really suck. After that, there's a couple away games. I believe it's with Liberal BJs, and then one more after that. And then pretty much the rest of July is just all home games back at Larks Park. It's 2 balls, 1 strike here. This one swung on and missed by Carpenter. Count moves to 2-2. Ashton over at first. Larks have only stolen 1 base today. This will get fouled off the catcher. Count will remain 2-2. Larks, who stole 152 stolen bases last year over the 46 games they played. This year, they're not on for the same track, but they almost have faster guys than they did last season. So you got to think a 1-point season, that will heat up a little bit, and they'll start stealing more bags. But that's always been the big part of Frank Leo's style of game, is getting guys who can steal the bases and create havoc on the base path and create RBI spots for cleanup batters like Wilbur Espinal, Garrett Gruhl, Gage Gilchrist. I mean, that's what the Larks do well, is just run the base path right with all the speed they're able to pick up. That's 2 balls and 2 strikes here to Will Carpenter. This is outside. Count moves to full. Full count, no outs. Ashton could be on the move here. No outs, though, so he's not forced to go. As this one swung on, missed by Carpenter for out number 1 here in the top of the 9th. This brings up Caleb Duncan. A 2 RBI single in his second at-bat for the Larks. It was his first hit as a Lark and first RBI. Stole his first base the 3rd time he was up, where he also got a base hit. This one in the dirt. On the move is Ashton. The throw down. A good throw, but not in time, as Ashton will swipe second. And now the Larks have an insurance run in scoring position. Pitch was ruled a ball, so we got a 1-0 count here. Our live scoreboard not seeming to update right now, but there we go. We believe it's up to date now. Will be a long trip back for the Larks tonight, as they're probably going to get home around 1 to 2 a.m., somewhere in there. As a base hit to left field, yes it will. It gets down, rounding third, and again the break sign from the third base coach and Andy Luton. As a base knock from Caleb Duncan, and he might win the player of the game tonight. The Larks can get 3 outs in the bottom of the 9th, because he's had a great day in his first game here. 3 hits, 2 RBIs, a stolen base, a chance to get 1 here. As now we head to Wilbert Espinal. Time is called, and head coach for the Cannons will head out to the mound. Could see a pitching change here, or could just be a mound visit. It's Gavin Willett. He's been pitching pretty good up to this point. This is the first trouble he's really had since coming out of the bullpen. But facing off against Wilbert Espinal, you got to be careful, because, I mean, if he gets a hold of one, I mean, this can change the whole ball game. You go to the bottom of the 9th, down by 2 or down by 5. I mean, it's a really important at bat here. As while they talk things over, we'll get a word from our sponsors. As the mound visit was pretty brief, runners on the corner now for Wilbert Espinal. First pitch foul back into the fence. Larks Park, they have a netting fence. Down here, they actually have a hard, I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but they have a tougher fence. Can't think of the word, but nonetheless, back to the batter's box. This one will be found out of play. Count moves to 0-2 here to Wilbert Espinal. Metal fence, that's what I was looking for. It has Larks Park, who has just the light netting back there as the balls just fly off of it and just hit back. They just get caught up in the netting and they fall right back down. Here they just hit off of the fence and just fall right down. As Espinal will throw this one to left field, shallow left field. It'll get down. That'll be a base knock and it'll score 1 run as the Larks extend their lead to 3 as they are up 8-5 as they get another insurance run before heading to the bottom of the 9th. Espinal's second RBI on the day.
Pinch hitter number 6, Tabor Stokes.
Which brings up the pinch hitter in Tabor Stokes, who took over at the shortstop spot positionally. Now he gets a chance to bat. As there were a couple changes, Will Carpenter was over at first base when we were last talking. He moved around a bit as this will be fouled back. Runners at first and second here with only 1 out still. This count moves to 1-1. Willett stays in the ballgame after the mound visit. Espinal came up big in that big insurance run. I mean, that run could be the difference between the Larks getting a victory or not if, say, 2 runs came around to score in the bottom of the 9th. The 1-1 pitch, this one in the dirt, but a good dig by the catcher. Looking like a first baseman with the way he digged that. This count moves to 2-1. Stokes' first at-bat on the day. Foul this one off. Count moves to 2-2. Larks baseball camp coming up here, and I believe it's next week. We'll have a little graphic, and we'll talk more about it during the home series. But I believe it's from June 17th through the 20th, as all the young athletes out there, young kids, kindergarten through 5th grade, they can come get lessons with some of the Larks players, the coaches, have a good time, meet some people, have a good time, eat some good food, even play some baseball while you're at it. As Stokes with this to the left side, past the third baseman's glove in the left field, being waved home to throw in to the catcher offline, as that will score a run. And Caleb Duncan, RBI single from Tabor Stokes off the bench, as the Larks extend their lead by 4 now.
DH number 7, Brady Evans.
Advancing the third was Wilbert Espinal on the throw from home. Stokes takes over at first now. Runners on the corner as that brings up Brady Evans. First pitch to Evans, popped up, foul. It's going to get out. It'll stay in play as making the catch is the catcher for out number 2. This time was called, but nothing happened. But that'll be out number 2. The runners will all stay at first and third and their respected bases they were at originally. Stokes' base hit was the 10th base hit of the ball game for the Larks. Bring up the catcher in Houston Russell as I have his phone back here, so it could be fun and try to take a couple of videos with it. As first pitch to him will be called a strike. We will not mess with Houston Russell's phone, unfortunately, as do not want to mess with him right now. As next pitch finds his zone, count moves to 0-2 with 2 outs. A base hit can score a run, possibly more if it can find an alley. His third at bat on the day. This will hit off of him, and that will load the bases. As heading to second base is Tabor Stokes. Houston Russell will take over at first.
Third baseman, number 15, Thomas Lissy.
So brings up Thomas Lissy. Let's put the ball in play in 2 of his 4 at-bats today. As he'll rip this one into right field. If it stays fair, it's going to score a couple. It will. That'll get down. 1 run will score. Rounding first and heading to second base is Lissy. A second run scores. Heading home is a third run. That will score another run. 3 runs come around to score thanks to a 3 RBI triple from Thomas Lissy. And the Larks starting to run away with this one in the top of the 9th.
Shortstop, number 1.
What a spot to come up for, and Thomas Lissy as now the Larks lead by 7. 3 RBI triple from the third baseman. All of his hits except for 1 have been extra base hits, and there was another game where he also got an extra base hit as well. So that stat hasn't been updated yet on our stat sheet. As first pitch here to CJ Reed, swung on and missed. Just the 1 runner at third in Thomas Lissy. This count moves to 1-1 here to CJ Reed. Larks lead by 7 now after a 5 spot here in the top of the 9th. The throw down not in time as Lissy gets back in time. Lissy just threw that one to right field, able to hug the line and stay fair. Thought maybe had a chance to get out of here with it being 3-10 out there, but the fence is a bit higher. It's a bit deceiving where they have if you can see the the length of the field out there in the outfield, it looks like that's the fence, but that's just the lining they put on it. The fence goes up a bit higher as next pitch to Reed, swung on and missed. Count moves to full here with 2 away. The full count pitch. This one fought off. CJ Reed staying alive. This inning alone could have just ended it for the Cannons as all the momentum is back on the Larks' side. And Schmidgel, who was pitching really good in the 8th, I mean, this is great. If he can stay in the ball game and come into the 9th inning with this big of a lead, I mean, Larks look like they could pull away with a victory as CJ Reed watches ball 4 go by. Now the 6th time through the order now as we're back to the top of the order for Caden Ashton, who will make his 6th at-bat on the day. He started this inning off with a single, a stolen base, and then came around to score as first pitch to him. Called strike. Cannons leaving their guy in there after that mound visit they had, and then went on to allow those 5 runs. They have a lot of faith in him. He's been throwing pretty well. The Larks have just been able to get some big hits in the big spots. The 7-run lead, unsure if CJ Reed will be on the move or not. His next pitch to Ashton misses the zone. Count moves to 1-1. Next Next pitch swung on a miss. Count moves to 1-2. Little Carpenter on deck. This one will run inside. Second at bat on the inning for Caden Ashton. Ashton will fight and foul this one out of play. Stays alive with a 2 balls and 2 strike count. Here we're 2 away. Utter silence here here at Rodney Wheeler Stadium. Larks are going to be very excited to get back home this weekend for a 3-game series at Larks Park, as this is just the complete opposite of what the Larks have been used to this season. As even for me, this is really uncomfortable for me right now. I can't imagine how the guys feel. As next pitch runs outside, count moves to full. Runner at first is C.J. Reed. He'll be on the move. He were 3-2 count and 2 outs. Pickoff move. Nobody even coming to the bag. Reed runs back just in case, though. Full count pitch. Misses up high. Ball 4. That leaves the bases loaded once again. And this could be the end of the day for the Cannon pitcher, as and Gavin Willett is coming out to, oh no, he's just giving the balls back to the umpire. Looks like they're going to stick with Willett here. The catcher is going to go out to the mound and talk things over. And there it is, as the pitching coach is just trying to waste as much time as possible to get the next guy warmed up. In a 7-run ball game, as they'll more than likely switch the arms here. And just confirm, yep, hands the ball over to the pitching coach, and that'll be the end of the day for Gavin Willett. As we'll take a short break here on the Larks Network, as they put up a 5-spot at the top of the 9th and lead by 7. So Hunter Albert will come into the ball game, put in a tough spot here with the bases loaded, but 2 outs though, as he'll face off against Will Carpenter. The Cannons were just trying to limit the arms they use and having to go to Hunter Albert now, as he was a designated hitter for tonight's contest. As first pitch rolled a strike here to Will Carpenter. Apologies to Hunter Albert, as just now realized it's not Alvaro like I saw on the lineup sheet. It's actually Hunter Albert. Apologies for that. Pitched for Cali Community College. Their season got cut short in the NJCAA Plains District Tournament this year. 2 balls, 1 strike. This one swung on and missed. Count moves to 2-2. Next pitch down low. Full count now. 2 outs. Bases are juiced. Everyone will be on the move. The full count pitch. Carpenter will throw this one in the left field. Pretty shallow left field as the shortstop will run over and make the grab for out number 3. But the Larks put up 5 runs in the top of the 9th as they'll head to the bottom of the 9th with a bit of cushion as they looked to get their first away victory on the road down here in Augusta. Make sure to come down to the ballpark on Friday as the Larks take on the Colorado Rough Riders in a 3-game series. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. First pitch, 7 o'clock start time. As the bottom 9th we go, 3 outs away. Schmidgel coming back to the mound as he's been dominant. 3rd inning of work for him. First pitch finds the zone for strike number 1 of the at-bat. Here to the first batter in the bottom of the 9th. We've seen some great stuff tonight for the Larks as a 12-5 game right now, and a ground ball hits the third baseman, fires it on to first in time, thanks to Thomas Lissy for out number 1. Like we were saying, as no post-game show, so with a 7-run lead, we'll just talk about the game a bit. We saw some good stuff tonight on the batting side and on the mound. There was a couple spots where we were a little shaky on, but for the most part, tonight was a good game to continue to see where the Larks are at. And it's another improvement day as things are getting better and better each and every day for the Larks as the seasons continue to get started and get rolling. As next pitch outside, count moves to 2-0. Caleb Duncan makes his first start with the Larks, and he comes into the game and just does it all. What a great performance from Duncan today. As next pitch will find the zone for strike number 1. Duncan just did a great job of just making his name known out in the outfield alone, and then with the bat, able to get 3 base hits today. Even a couple of RBIs, a fly ball hit out to left field, running back as a left fielder in Ashton. This one carrying, that one has a chance to get out of here. It doesn't. It stays in the ballpark, off the wall. The throw in gets away from the cutoff man, but CJ Reed will come over to pick it up, as that will be a 1-out double here in the bottom of the ninth.
Right fielder number 25, Cooper Combs.
Haworth with his second base hit on the day. Bringing up Combs, as he's got a base hit in his last 2 at-bats. First pitch runs up and in at him near the head, as that one will wake you up. Looking back, the runner is Schmidgel as he'll fire this one in. Slider that cuts right, stays right in the zone for strike number 1. The 1-1, this one missed down low. Count moves to 2-1. More on today's game, as Aiden Schmidgel, who really made a great appearance on the mound up to this point. Don't want to jinx him or anything, but his last outing, he had a standout performance in that one. And the start before, it was a little shaky, and he had a really great bounce back game. And then even tonight, even if stuff doesn't go in his favor in this half inning, he's really made a great improvement in the last 3 outings for the Larks, especially being a sidearm pitcher, as this will be a base hit into left field. Ashton will pick it up and fire this one in. The runner at second will stay at third base.
Third baseman, number 8.
As now runners are at the corner here with 1 out. A double play possibility with the runner at first base. Spring to the third baseman and Snyder. Really hope we didn't jinx anything, as without the post-game show we were kind of talking about the game a little bit. But hopefully we didn't jinx anything, as 2 base hits here in the bottom of the ninth in favor of the Cannons. They're down by 7. First pitch finds a zone for strike 1 here to Snyder. This will be a ground ball to the right side. Running over and making the grab is Reed. Will fire to first. Only time to get 1. That will score a run. RBI ground out for Snyder. Advancing to second base is Combs. And scoring is Haworth. But 2 outs now, 1 out away from the Larks getting their first road win of the season. First pitch right back up the middle. CJ Reed's going to get there in time. Running throw, fires it to first in time. Out number 3. Ball game over, as the Larks win on the road for the first time this season and are able to get a victory down here in Augusta near Wichita, Kansas. As no post-game show tonight, as we got to get back on the bus and get back to Hayes. But thank you guys for dealing with our weird type of broadcast tonight. I felt like we just announced the Masters, as it was so quiet here. It was hard to really get the energy for you guys. But we'll be back at Larks Park tomorrow. Make sure to tune in, as they'll face off against the Colorado Rough Riders in a 3-game series. First pitch, 7 o'clock each day. As the Larks pull away with a 12-6 victory. Player of the game, going to give it to Caleb Duncan for his first start and first appearance with the Larks this year, as he did great. 3 for 4 day for him, a couple of RBIs, and a stolen base on top of it. As that's all she wrote here at Larks Park. Thank you guys so much for tuning in on Larks Network, and we hope you guys have a great night. Good night, ladies and gentlemen.